We have an extraordinary presentation for you this morning, which I know everybody's very excited about, and I am very excited about. We dreamt about it last night. About Google and Google Plus and the Google Suite and all the wonderful Google tools that we have through our Robert Morris email. And I am going to introduce a few people to you. You will know all the fellows who are all around here. And we have separated you by Android and iPhone, not because we want to demonstrate favoritism, but rather so that when we have breakout opportunities and we need some help, we know which operating systems are where so that we can help everybody appropriately. And so, fellows are over here, so when we break out, this is your team, so they will come and help you if you have any questions, so please let us know if you have help. First person up here I'm going to introduce is Janet. You want to come up here? Do you want to Janet is an alum and a current student, right? Yay! And obviously, a Google ambassador. And she's going to tell you a little bit about what she does for Google and her role with them, and then she's going to introduce our presenters as well. So please welcome Janet.
Hi. Hello. How are you guys?
Great.
This is actually the biggest crowd I've ever presented, so it's a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you for your time. And just a little bit about myself. I am an international student from Turkmenistan, so I'm doing the program, Google Ambassador Student Program for Robert Morris and Google. So I serve as a liaison, so connecting to big organization, our school and Google, hosting fun events like today, and also getting wonderful people like Alex and Angela. So a little bit about them, what they do. So Angela, she is also a student, so I want to make sure that three of us, we are kind of volunteers, and we're hosting the events such as like today. Angela is a student, she's a sophomore, she is at University of Chicago, yes. And she is majoring in American history. How exciting it is. And hopefully in the future she wants to work for the government or for the public service sector. And one of the great things, she actually is, you are in rugby team for women at your university. Awesome, woo! And Alex is a senior at University of Illinois, Chicago. He is in finance, so he's got a lot of money, right? So, and his favorite food is pizza. So we're friends. So anyway, and I am going to pass the microphone to them so that they can talk a little bit about what their role is, and then they can take over their presentation. The first part of the presentation is going to be taken over by Alex and Angela. And once they're done, because they have school, so some commitments to do. And after that, Paula, Mick, and other part of myself, we will take over and have a lot of fun by learning. So thank you again. I am just flattered. So.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Janet, for the great introduction. I'm going to go over here. Okay, so as Janet said, my name is Angela. I'm part of the Google Community Leaders Program along with Alex here. And so we're just going to talk really briefly about who we are and what we do as part of this program. The Google Community Leaders Program is it's a volunteer program for students in the Chicago area sponsored by Google. So we are not Google employees, but we are a volunteer program sponsored by them. And so what we do is we are organized into teams and we go out into the city of Chicago and do outreach to help Google's involvement in the Chicago, in the community areas, just increasing digital literacy for people like yourselves and for startups, nonprofits, individual groups, and small businesses. Sorry, this is funny. Okay, so yeah.
So hopefully this mic works. We're part of the startup team here in Chicago. So right now we're currently working with 3 startups like in the Chicago community, which has been really exciting. And we did a presentation last fall at Chicago Creative Coalition where we met Paula and Mick, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be here to present to you guys on Google Tools.
Okay, so just a general overview of what we're going to be talking about. So starting off, there's going to be 3 sections. First, we're talking about Gmail and Calendar and the functions of that. Then Google Drive, and then we're going to hand it off to Paula to talk about Google Plus and Communities, which Paula was mentioning you guys are trying to use as professors and teachers a lot, so that'll be useful. And then after each section, we're going to do a breakout session where you guys are going to have hands-on experience with using everything that we've been teaching you. So that's why we had the please download those apps things before we started this presentation. And then there's also, during the breakout session, that's a time where you guys can ask questions. So hold all the questions until we break out after each presentation.
So why are we here today? Like, you guys might be wondering, why do you need to be using Google tools? Some of you guys might not be aware of all the tools that are available for you to be using to make your teaching style better and more efficient. So really what we're here today for is to give you guys the tools to be more productive as a teacher. And by using those tools that Google's offering you, like Google Drive or Google Communities, you're going to be able to have more productive teaching style and really just open up the loop of communication with your students or faculty and just help streamline the feedback process with the tools that you can use with your students, with your faculty. But at the end of the day, what we really want to do is we want to give you guys more time for teaching so students can have more time for learning. And we had a little video to play.
A few years ago, I started to watch the teachers around me passing me. It got more intimidating once the computers came. I felt as though if I couldn't get this, it would be time for me to retire.
My mother didn't receive much of an education. Because of that, she wants me to achieve great things. So each objects have their own values, different values.
At my house, I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers. Having lots of siblings is quite fun, but it's not peaceful. When I'm doing my homework, I go into Google Classroom. If I see my teacher's icon pop up, if I don't understand something, I could ask him and he'd be able to answer rather than having to wait till my next Spanish lesson.
I take the bus home. On my phone, from anywhere, I'm able to access Google Classroom. We don't have to waste time writing our assignments, wasting paper. It saves my time.
I find it useful to have classmates and teachers looking at your work. I can see where they've made mistakes and where I've made mistakes and where we can both correct them.
Ahora está muy bien. Sí, excelente.
I feel like I have made this breakthrough. You just click on their name and their document opens up immediately in front of you. And those beautiful thoughts come out.
I want to become a software developer.
I would like to get qualifications for a judge because they help people out and stand up for people.
I want to be good my whole entire teaching career.
So obviously all of you guys want to be the best teachers, best faculty members you can be for your students. And when you start to think about the next generation coming through Chicago public school system into college, all of them are using Google tools in their everyday life. We grew up with Google tools, we grew up with Gmail, Drive, so we're really familiar with this stuff. And there's kind of this gap of teachers and students where if you guys aren't coming to the level that students are already familiar with, then you're going to kind of be restricting how far they can go with these tools. There's some really great benefits by using these tools as a student and as a faculty member, but if they're not able to collaborate with teachers and work on these applications, and you guys aren't there, then they're going to kind of be reaching their full potential. And to put it in this context, the bus is packed, students are all on board already, you guys have to get on board so they can take off. You don't want it to take off without it. All right, cool. Sorry. So all of you guys have Gmail accounts with Robert Morris University, whether you guys use it or not. Some of you guys filled out the survey. One of you guys doesn't use the Robert Morris account. So your Gmail account is your portal into a whole nother world. It's the Gmail account is going to get you into your Google Drive account and your Google Plus account. If you're signed into Gmail, you're signed into everything else. It's already, even if you don't know about the tool, you're already signed into it. So when you sign into your account, this is going to be a very key tool for you, this add symbol right here. So this is how you can get to any application through Google without using the URL. This is just a quick application tool. You can get into your Drive, YouTube, Google Search, Google Plus. That app's going to kind of be in that corner in most of your applications. You can run around with that. So the first tool we wanted to show you today is Google Calendar. Some of you guys might be thinking, like, calendar, pretty boring. But like, it's a good segue from Gmail into a simple application that you guys might not really realize all the benefits that are available with Google Calendar. So one of the main benefits is the mobility of this calendar. So Google Calendar goes across all platforms because it's a cloud device. So it'll connect with your phone, with your computer, with your laptop. So as you go from device to device, that calendar is going to follow you around everywhere. Trying to put your calendar into your phone is really frustrating. Especially with a small screen, you can just put it on your computer and it'll be everywhere you go with your phone with you. And then secondary with that, relating it to teachers, like, you guys are going to be able to use some really cool benefits we're going to talk about in a little bit, where you can set up events with your students, you can add them or invite them to the event if you want to set up an appointment. So really cool stuff. And this is also going to be the portal into Google Hangouts, which also Jen and Nick and Paul will talk about later.
Cool. Actually, just wanted to say, looking around, I noticed a lot of you are already using your phones and getting on these apps, which is great. But if you could hold that off until the breakout session so that you could focus. I feel like a real teacher right now. Interesting turn of events. Okay. So hold that off until the breakout session. Thank you. So here's just an image of what it looks like, what the Google Calendar looks like, and a really big emphasis on using Google Calendar as opposed to other apps or tools, calendar tools, is that there's a huge impact or effect on collaboration. So this is my calendar, Alex's calendar, and then we have a third group member, Danny, who couldn't be here today. These are all of our calendars combined, and so when we need to meet and, when are we going to start working on this presentation, we'll open all of our calendars together, look at when we're available, and then try to pick a date. So just the collaboration aspect where you can view other people's calendars, view your own, find availability. It's just it's just a super useful tool, I think, especially when you're creating meetings or appointments with other students. And then a really cool feature that you can use with your Robert Morris University email is creating appointment slots for office hours. So we're gonna give you a little demo on how to do that, but it's just a super useful tool to have students where they can sign up for individual slots, and then it'll show up, once they sign up for a slot, it'll show up automatically both on your calendar and theirs. Okay, so we're gonna give a demo.
We're gonna do a quick live demo into the calendar and dive into some different parts, show you guys how to do them, so you guys can practice in the breakout session.
Okay, so this is my university email, which basically works the same as your Robert Morris one. So let's just pretend I'm a professor. And okay, so you just click on a day. So let's say Thursday at 10 a.m. I want to have office hours. This mouse. Okay, so then instead of creating an event, you can just go to appointment slots and then create an event or an appointment slot, offer it in a certain amount of time. So if I want to do 30-minute slots, I can create this, and then it'll show up in this URL. So you just send this link to all of your students, and I can show you how to do that. And so this is what it'll look like for a student. So if they want to sign up for office hours, they can just use their email, save it, and it'll automatically show up on both of your calendars. So that's a super useful tool. And we'll have you guys try to do that on your own in the breakout session.
Yeah, so we're gonna break out into our first breakout session. Maybe take 5, maybe not even 10 minutes to try some of these things. If you have a mobile device, go into the Google Play Store, try to download Google Calendar. Try to create an event. If you want to get more involved, you can create like a Google Hangout. It'll say like add video call in there. If you want to make a video call with somebody, you can add an event there. And if you're really familiar with this stuff already, maybe try to use appointment slots. Try to create something there if you're more of an advanced user.
Just meet with my older ones sometimes.
Feature to create appointments, you have to do it on your computer. And to a lot of you, we're clicking on edit event and trying to look for the appointment there. You have to get to the appointment slots like right when you click on the calendar. You can't go into the event, the edited event, and then try to find it. You have to create it initially when you click on, on the calendar.
It is, you'll be able to do it on your desktop. If you just click on your calendar, so if you want to start those appointments at 7 a.m., go into your calendar so you can see it all here, right? Click on 7 a.m. and it'll show up and you'll see the option to do that. When you get back to the desktop, you'll be able to see it. And then you'll probably be able to figure out.
Yeah, so you have to click that and then go to appointment slots. If you go like this and then try to find it here, it's not going to show up within the event. Okay, cool. So let's keep going.
Oh yeah, we got some cooler stuff to go through. Calendar is by far not the best Google app out there. So we have this cool video. Really quick.
Oh, here she comes. She's a scary lady. She's an angry tiger. She's a man gobbler. Eater. She's a man eater.
So this is a really great example of the level of collaboration and productivity you can get with using Google Drive. So, like when you think of your Google Drive, it's kind of like your H drive of your computer that follows you around everywhere you go, in your phone, in your tablet. Google Drive is hosted in the cloud that connects to all of your different devices. And so the power of using Google Drive is that if you maybe have a classroom all connected through Google Drive, or if you have a faculty like the math department all connected with Google Drive, even the student-to-teacher interaction where you can collaborate in a single document or work on a syllabus, working on content for class, you're able to be more productive rather than sending copies back and forth through email and seeing like what changes have been made. And there's a lot of benefits to be using Google Drive and Google Docs.
Yeah, and then just, again, we keep emphasizing the importance of mobility, and so that's a huge thing for Google Drive, is just how mobile you can be with it, and we're going to show you on a live demo again. But just if you look at how you can use Google Drive on a phone, on a tablet, and the interface is a lot different from what you would see on a desktop. It's much more easy on the eyes, and you can really collaborate and make documents on, while you're writing the L to work, or it's really good for students who are just on the go and don't have time to sit down with a physical computer. They can edit documents and do homework and fill out forms on the go.
Yeah, and a good example of this is University of Texas Austin. They have 51,000 students in their university, and yeah, maybe teachers might have them in the classroom for 3 hours, but by using Google Drive and Google Documents, they're able to connect and collaborate and engage with their students all day, and even on weekends with Google Drive inside the document. There's chat capabilities, comments, you can see edits that are being changed like we did in the video, and just being able to leverage this tool, you're able to see projects along as a teacher, see what the progress is that students are making, and if they have questions, then they can email you direct or send you comments directly from there, so that feedback loop is much higher than with Word docs. So what are the main benefits of Google Drive? So one, storage, being able to store any file you want. So with your Robert Morris account, you have unlimited storage of any Google product, but you can also download Word docs or Photoshop pictures, videos, audio, and you can upload even 5 terabytes of data in just one sitting. And just really being able to store whatever you want in this drive, in this H drive that follows you around everywhere is great, because then, into the second point, mobility, you can access all of your content from whatever device you want. So whether it's your phone, your tablet, you're on your laptop on the CTA, you're able to grade papers from sitting on the CTA, you're able to collaborate on your phone while students are working on their documents or even like grading them. It's a really great feature, and that brings me into collaboration, being able to collaborate with your faculty members, even if you're not in the same place, same room at the same time. They can be like across the world, like it's just all through the internet, so you're able to collaborate with anybody, anywhere they're at, on any document you want that's stored in the drive. So we should another quick video to show the ease of use.
Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides make it easy to work on your files with other people. It doesn't matter whether they're in the same room or halfway around the world. You just share your file with the people you want to work with. Let's take a look at how useful this can be. Amy and John use Google Docs to work on their travel newsletter at the same time, even when they're miles apart. Amy creates a new document and shares it with John. She gives him edit access, which means that both of them can make changes to the document at the same time. Once they're set up, Docs lets them work together in a few different ways. Amy knows when John is working on the newsletter because his profile picture appears on screen, and she can watch him work as he types. She can use chat to start a conversation. And if John isn't online at the same time she is, she can stay in touch with comments. So the next time John views the file, he can respond to Amy. And Amy can click Resolve when he's addressed her comment. Between chat and comments, no good ideas get left behind. Docs, Sheets, and Slides also make it easy to bring other people into the conversation. So when Amy has a question for her boss, Catherine, she types Catherine's name into a comment using the plus sign, and Catherine gets an email letting her know she needs to weigh in. Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Keep everyone on the same page. For more information about real-time collaboration, visit the Help Center.
Okay, so to reiterate what's on this video, we're just going to kind of click through around on the drive, just to kind of show you the capabilities that you have and show you the layout, how it looks. So when you look at it, there is a lot going on. We're going to kind of try to explain everything that's going on here. So this new button right here, that's where you create all of your documents. So you can create a folder. Being able to create folders in Google Drive helps you stay organized. You can upload folders from your computer so that you can access those documents wherever you're at. And these are also where your Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides are. So if you look at the layout, you can sort them by name, you can sort them by last modified. This helps look at stuff that like you maybe have just been making edits to. I use this tool all the time because I always want to look at stuff that I've been working on. So I use last modified. You can see everyone that has access to this folder right here. So that really helps you see who can actually look at this stuff. Because there's a lot of worry about security in Google Drive, like who can see what. But there's a lot of control with these different sharing capabilities. For example, I could pull this up. So this is very key because this is one of the most important parts of Google Drive is being able to share your content so that you can collaborate with them. So if you just click on in the right-hand corner, let's go back. I'll show you how I did that again. Like so, clicking on, okay, so like being able to share, like I can click this, these are all the people that have access, so this is like obviously where the sharing is. So you can either get a shareable link that you can maybe host on your Google community, so you can give access to your students to the Google community to be able to click on this link and edit, or if you want to send an email to Angela, because you want to let her see what you're working on, you can send it to her, and it shoots an email right to them. And the really important part here is that you can change the access that they have. either edit it or they can just view it, so then students can come in, but they can't change anything on that document. Like if it's a syllabus, maybe it's just a template you want them to use, they can download it from Google Drive and not edit your version of it so it doesn't mess up anybody else. And then, so you also have this activity panel right here. So you can actually see what changes people are making to their documents. So if you're keeping track of what students are doing, like maybe seeing how they're progressing through their projects, you can be in this activity panel like, okay, George just made this change to his presentation or his paper. Let's see how he's doing with that. You can click into those, see the changes they've made really easily, which is really cool tool. Details also gives you more details about who has access. But so clicking into some of these folders, like you have all these hosted documents in your folders. You can even go folder to other folders, and like there's just like you can in some of our Google Drives, like we have a national committee for our program, and those folders go like 10 folders deep. You could easily get lost in the sea, but like staying organized is a lot better than just having a huge Google Drive with 100 documents in it. And so another cool feature of Google Drive, really quick, is just this your left-hand side is the My Drive shared with me. You can even access your Google Photos if you have that connected with your phone. The shared with me is going to be really important to see what people have been sharing with you, and you can add these right into your Google Drive. You can add it right into your drive, and it's going to be there so you can access it whenever you want. So let's break out into another breakout session. Tools that you can use to enhance your teaching styles directly with students inside your documents. So one being suggested edits, like just in Word, you can use suggesting edits for, like if you're sending a document or a paper back to a student, you can do that in Google Drive as well, but you can make the changes and they can see the changes that you're making, especially if they're in the document. And then brings me into my second point, you can create a comment like right here. You can create a comment at that direct line, and then you can comment at somebody to send them an email and bring them directly to that spot in that paper. If that makes sense. And then another really cool thing about Google Docs, Sheets, Slides is there's this concept called add-ons. There's a whole other concept. We could do a whole presentation just on add-ons, but essentially it's just this store inside each one of your documents that you can click into to add add-ons that will enhance your usability of these different documents. We'll show you where it is in your documents, but think about it like compared to Excel or like Word doc, there's so many different tools, but Google's really stripped down these tools to their bare minimums because there's like an 80-20 rule, like 80% of people are using 20% of the tools in Microsoft Excel. How many of you guys have used Solver? Like I'm using in class, I don't know anybody who uses that, but like you can add these capabilities into your Google Docs or Google Sheets so that if you need it, or you need this tool that's in Excel that's not in Google Docs, you can add it on in add-ons.
Okay, so another really great app in addition to Docs and Sheets is Forms. So Google Forms, I use this for school every single day. I'm filling out a form that someone's sending me. And it's a really great way. We actually sent all of you a form, so this should be kind of familiar. You can use it to send out surveys for students or other teachers. It's a really great way to get feedback from people anonymously or not anonymously. And then you can also send out like pop quizzes to your students. You can fill out multiple choice, open response. There's all different options for creating a form, as you can see. And we're gonna show you, so we all sent you a form before doing this presentation so we could get a sense of where you all were in terms of using Google Apps. So let's just look at your answers. A great thing about Google Forms is that it saves all of your responses on one page, and even turns them into little graphics. So
Yeah, like you can see that 70% of you guys have iPhones. As you can tell, more people are sitting over here than kind of like this general area, maybe. Well, only 34 people responded, and there's definitely more than 34 people here, so zeros for whoever didn't. But like you can see, the level of comfortability with Google Apps, who's using what in the classroom, and even, if you want to go down a little bit, like who's using which document. So we asked a question like, are you using Gmail? Are you using Google Drive? So you can really see like percentages and like how many people are using this. As much as we would hate to give you ideas about giving quizzes and stuff, it's really great capability.
That's a really good point you brought up about not everybody responding. Can you tell who responds?
Yeah, you can put in like a required question to fill out the form, like to put like your name in it. So then this, which is a really great point, into Forms, you can download this into a Google Sheet. So then you can see who has responded or who responded to the thing, to the different.
and there's also an option when you first create the form that says track every email address that's being inputted, so you can check to make sure which emails have been sending and which emails haven't submitted one yet. Okay. And then you see a lot of you are already using Communities, which is great.
I think we sent this email out about, because some people are saying they don't remember getting it. We sent, so if you're part of the Learning Commons community, which many of you are, we sent it out through there.
So if you're not in that, you're getting excused. But that brings us into, so we thought about like, should we be teaching you guys how to use like Sheets, Docs, like PowerPoints, basically, which is slides. But we wanted to show you some add-ons instead, because Docs, Sheets, and Slides are just your essential Microsoft products, but better, easier to use, like more simplified, because they're stripped down to their bare minimum. But some cool add-ons to put into these different applications, like Flubaroo going off of Google Forms. This is an add-on that you can put into Google Forms, and it creates an answer sheet to your pop quizzes, so you can easily grade all of the quizzes that you sent out in a link in class. So you could just be like, all right, pop quiz, share it on your phone, they got to answer the questions, and then you have the answer sheet already to the, I don't know how large your lecture halls are, but like if there's 100 people in there, so you don't want to go through and grade every single one, you can just use Flubaroo, and that'll grade all of them for you. Another cool one is Google Translate, which most of us have probably already heard of. But my thought was, like at UIC, we have a lot of international students. A lot of them like don't speak very good English. So if you are using Google Docs, they can add this add-on to their Google Docs. So if you send them a syllabus, you send them a homework assignment, they can use Google Translate to translate that document right into their language, so they can better understand. That just shows an example of using Google Docs to help your students learn better. And then another one is Choice Eliminator. I thought this was kind of cool. Like if you're trying to manage projects or different days of presentations, you can have your students fill out this form, and as they choose choices, they'll start to disappear, and then whoever goes in will only see the available ones. So we're going to go into a quick live demo, just like creating a document.
Yeah. Questions? Yeah. Could you back up and explain the difference between sheets, drives, files, and docs, please? Because not everybody knows the difference.
Okay, sheets, slides, and docs? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Sheets, are you all familiar with Microsoft Word products? Yeah. Yeah, so Sheets is basically Excel, but without all of those completely unnecessary like apps that Alex uses for his finance class. Like it's really basic, just the kind of things that you would need on a daily basis to run Sheets. And then Slides is for presentations.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, is the same thing as PowerPoint, yeah. And then again, the emphasis on using these as opposed to Microsoft products is just the collaborative aspect. Like you can't share and simultaneously edit PowerPoint together with other people from like all around the world. Yeah.
So I tried using this actually for a project in my class,
Mm-hmm.
and unlike Excel, we couldn't do the formulas that they had entered into the cells in Sheets. Is there a way to do that, or an app that you add on?
Right, yeah, so that's where the add-ons come in.
So what would that be to show formulas?
Like, so you're saying you converted it from an Excel to a Google Sheet?
The students did, yes.
Yeah, so like, if you're using Google products, like, and you convert it over to Google Sheets, it might take just the values. Like, so that's where the problem comes in. If they're doing it in Google Sheets initially, then you'll be able to see the formulas and stuff. I believe if you copy.
The sheets you can.
I'm sorry, say that again?
If you said if they started the sheets, they
Yeah,
can.
or if they like copy and paste into Sheets, it's just a matter of like how Google converts the Excel product into a Sheets product. So it might be just taking values, but if they like copy and paste their formulas into a Google Sheet to like submit it, then it should show the formulas, or they can just start in the
And
Google
is
Sheet.
are the different paste options available?
Yeah, they should be. At least I know I paste stuff into Excel a lot because Excel just crashes on me all the time. So I like put all my formulas into Sheets and then put it back into my Excel formula, and then like the formulas should all be there.
And
Really quick, we just want to go through a couple of these, but then we can answer questions in the breakout session. But just like creating a document, like you just create your documents right here. So this is the Google Docs. Here's the Google Sheets, like the Excel spreadsheets, and then here's the Google Slides. And if you click on More, you have the Google Forms that we were talking about. So if we go into one of the documents, right here, this practice document that we created, able to collaborate across right here. So like we've got Mick in this file. I can create some text right here, like hello. I can, Angela just jumped in, I can add a comment.
So I'm here on my phone. I can just type some stuff. You can see it showing up.
Add Alex, I can send myself an email to do this type of thing and then send it, and he'll send me an email. Right here is where the add-ons are, this add-on button right here. Then you just go to get add-ons. So this should be in Docs and Sheets and Slides. And so this is the whole, like there are just so many different tools in here. Different developers are creating these different tools to just pretty much do about anything, and you can just add them on top.
Can I make one comment? You know, as the end of the term has come, you know, we have, if you do group projects, and then you get all the excuses as to why somebody didn't participate. So I think this is especially interesting if we have athletes that are traveling. So I had an athlete who was away at an event, I'm not even going to say the sport, and was submitting his work via a Facebook message because they didn't have access to the internet. He didn't have a computer with him, and if he would have had if they would have done something in Docs or done something in Slides, he could have participated in the group project. And so then I got all these downloaded copies of text messages where he was participating, and the group kicked him out, and it was all sorts of a mess. So, I mean, I just think there's opportunities for our students when they don't have, or Paula's walking around with her laptop, which is a Google Chromebook, which she doesn't have a Word document on there at all, and she just uses Google products, and she has access to it. So, and you can download and work offline. So you can be on a plane, you can be on the bus, you can be working on your document, and when you have Wi-Fi, you can upload it, and our students can be doing their work without excuses.
Right, that's a really good point. A really great thing about Google Docs is accountability, just making sure, because it tracks every single edit and everyone who's editing the page and who's logged on, who's even seen the page, because it tracks all of these things, you can see exactly who's been active in group projects and who hasn't been. So accountability is a really great feature of Google Apps.
So we have to unfortunately go to our own class. So this will be the next breakout session, and we'll hand it over to Paula and Mick to go on with the activities and stuff. But we just wanted to thank you guys for being here. Like, we're grateful for the opportunity to talk to you guys about
Yeah, and folks, again, Wednesdays, 3 to 6, Teaching Institute. We are here to help you out with these things. I know we threw a lot of stuff at you today, but there are some wonderful features with Google that we can use that can save you a lot of time and make you more efficient. And so we definitely want to help you use these apps and these Google features in the future. So please contact us in the Teaching Institute, any of the senior fellows. Talk with each other if you know how to do some of this stuff, and share. And we'll really get a good hold on this. And things are looking pretty cool for the future.
So I just kind of want to go back to our fall kind of thing where we're working on our experience-based learning and this fancy brochure that we have created. And you know, we've really been taking a lot of time in the Teaching Institute because we've had the luxury of time and planning to be working on different things. And so when we look at our experience-based learning and the statement that we came up with after collaborating with chairs and fellows in the green room and people coming in and working on our whiteboards, I just want to kind of come back to this particular session. And so, design with purpose. This session was designed with purpose. Mick, Paula, and I went to a session where we met Angela and Alex in November. What was that called? It was some other group. It was a small group, and we went someplace in Chicago. Pardon me? Yeah, Creative Coalition or something like that was the Creative Coalition, which is where we met them. And I had a iPhone 4 that I couldn't download any apps, and Mick had his Chromebook, and Paula had her phone, and so they were doing all these different things, and I sat there and I wrote paper notes, which was so counterproductive, right? And then we kind of came back, and then we found out about Annette being our Google Scholar right here at Robert Morris University. And so when we were designing this session, we had our experience-based learning in mind, right? We know that some of you are high-end users, and we know that some of you have phones that you can't download an app, and that's kind of where you're at, and that's fine. And we're not saying that everybody's going to be using all these things all the time, right? But we're just finding that there's a little bit more purpose with it. So in this session, we're, number 2, acting with authenticity, right? We're downloading, we're trying to work through this. We had a great session with the senior fellows, and it was kind of chaotic, I think, because those of us that have iPhones didn't know how to work with the Androids, and so that information helped us kind of divide into groups to know that how iPhone users download things is different than how the Android users do that. We'll come back and do a form like we did to kind of survey you beforehand. We'll do a form and ask you what you thought of this session. We're learning as you're going along. So Melissa's question was, you know, perfectly a great question, and we don't necessarily have the answers. I mean, I just kind of found out about the add-on and the EasyBib as they're working in their documents. You know, we're trying to make things more available for our students as well. Doesn't mean they can't download it into that lovely Word document that we want to see and format it the way we want to, but they can be working outside of it. So when you get your survey, and hopefully we'll get the survey, right, that'll be our reflect from learning, and then our acknowledge for significance will kind of be ongoing. So we'll be revisiting these. So, you know, hopefully you're not frustrated. I don't know that we really knew. How many people were at least successful downloading one app while you were sitting here? Okay, because I know that the internet was a challenge, right? Because everybody's taxing on it at the same time. So anyway, we're hoping that you find this valuable. So we're going to go into the second part of this.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give people a few more minutes to maybe just try to partner up with somebody that you're next to or close to in your area, and maybe create a document. And if you want to go pretty artsy, maybe you can collaborate on a haiku, which is 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. And Paul and I do this quite often. So yeah. So why don't you take a few minutes and go through your doc app and try to collaborate and invite somebody who's sitting next to you. And just take a few minutes and try and create a document. You don't have to do a haiku, but you can just try a few things and see if you can work on a collaborative document. Again, to mention at this point, we know the Wi-Fi is a little challenging today, but just go ahead and do your best. And if you have any questions, kind of pull us to the side and we can answer to the best of our abilities. And then we're going to move on to talk a little bit about Google Communities.
Okay, so for those of you that are really into this, we have a little extra Google swag. So if your team creates a document, shares it with somebody else, and they respond to it, raise your hand. The first 2 groups. We already got one. Okay. Raise your hand so you guys shared something. Shared something. So Jeanette, please 2 here.
So I'm on the the old Facebook page, and recently I've been seeing a lot of updates like this. In fact, I've been hearing a lot about Google Plus all over. In Google. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So I created an account. Then I'm on the old Facebook page, and recently I've been seeing a lot of updates like this. In fact, I've been hearing a lot about Google Plus all over. So I created an account. Then suddenly, everyone finds me there, and my inbox is flooded with people putting me in their circles. So we've got circles now. You see, I'm pretty happy with my Facebook. I've already set up camp here. It's that old familiar place where I see everyone's updates. What's not to love? Well, maybe not that guy. And it is annoying that my boss is now my friend, so I'm busy untagging all of my incriminating photos and hoping that my privacy settings are set right. And oftentimes I'm censoring my updates. And let's be honest, just because you know a guy from work doesn't mean you like what he likes. You see, on Facebook, everyone is your friend. And that doesn't make a lot of sense because in real life, that's not how it works. But do I really want to choose a new social network? You know what? Forget it. It's all too much. I'm going back to MySpace. You know what? Forget all of this. I'm going to go outside where relationships are real and life makes more sense. I'm going to avoid social media forever. Who are you?
I'm the social media guru, and I will teach you the ways of choosing a social media platform. You already have a Facebook account, and you know what it can do and what it can't. But what about Google Plus? In Google Plus, instead of the assumption that everyone is your friend, you put everyone in appropriate groups called circles. People can be in more than one circle, just like in real life. And you can easily share something with just some people, or with everyone. That's just a few features in Google Plus. There are lots more. And also remember, Google Plus is in its early phases. I'd expect all of Google's many apps to continue to merge into their social network over time, making it better and better.
Well, Facebook's got to catch back up, right? So I'll just wait until they figure things out.
What's your email?
Google.
Where do you search?
Google.
Do you use RSS?
Yeah, Google Reader.
And probably more? You see, you don't need to choose Google Plus. Sooner or later, you're going to end up using it.
So the communities. This is something we've been talking about for the last year. We created the RMU community. If you did not get a link to the survey, you may not be in the community. And so if you think you're not, please see either me or Mick or Kathy or one of the fellows afterwards. We can make sure that you're in there so that you're getting all the communication that's in there. I know we've been having a lot of action in the community today. I've seen a lot of things going up, pictures and posts and ideas. So we're going to show you that in a second. And the whole point of the RMU faculty community is really that, those three words that were so important. Mobility and collaboration, and there are post-its in there. So what's in it? Were they community, collaboration, and accessibility, right? And Paul made a good point, who has snuck out, get ready for everything. Paul made a good point, as we are distributed across so many campuses and so many different schedules, having a place of community, of collaboration because of our mobility is really important. And that's what the community is helping us do. So go ahead, and I'm going to show you kind of a little video, because we love these videos. I'm very big on these Google videos.
Yeah, everyone likes this. It's not often I find people who love food like I do. So it's great that I found a place where I can talk about things that I usually wouldn't share anywhere else. Like how farm fresh eggs taste a billion times better than the grocery store stuff. And I can spend an afternoon hanging out, learning how to prep radicchio, or how to make the perfect Neapolitan crust. It's this wonderful group of people that are genuinely happy when I share a favorite recipe.
So
It feels like I've known this group of people forever because we're all connected around this thing we really love.
So what she says, and I think it's really key, is we're all connected around this thing we really love. We're all connected around this thing we really love. And I think the thing that we're all connected around that we really love is, thank you, teaching. I should get slides. right? So we're all connected around this thing we really love, which is teaching. And that's the stuff that we should be talking about on the community. There, you can talk about whatever, right? But kind of Facebook is kind of for whatever, right? But this is for us. This is for Robert Morris. Okay, so this is our community, those of you who aren't familiar with it. And you should see, go ahead and scroll down. We have, look at all the action photos that are out there, right? Everybody having a great time, looking like they're working really hard, right? And what's also great about this is we're getting into EBL again, where we're all wearing our shirts. This whole year has been about experience-based learning, and we'll continue the conversation. This allows us to both collect, share, and archive all of our EBL experiences. So when it comes to that time when we say, what are we doing as an institution to advance experience-based learning, all we have to do is go click on this and show, and we can download. We have all the pictures here that people have posted. We have the events that we've shared. Everything is there for us to share and to talk about.
Is there a storage limit?
There is no storage limit. We have unlimited storage.
On your personal Gmail account, yes. On your Robert Morris Gmail
Right,
account.
on your educator account, we can put up whatever mega gigabytes, right? On your personal one, yeah, you have to buy more.
It's 15 gigabytes. It's enough. I've been using it for 5 years, and I still have only, my storage is still exceeded for 3 gigabytes, and I have the rest, so that should not be a problem.
So if you go back up, Kathy, to the top. We have some categories up here. This isn't, the discussion obviously is the big one. We have some faculty scholarship, information about Blackboard, EBL, the Chicago experience. Trying not to have too many different categories. Some people get fixated on how to organize it, right? But it helps you a little bit in organizing where things go, where to look for things. Again, and you can search the RMU EBL hashtag. So anything that's labeled with that hashtag, just like on Twitter, will come up through that link. And this is where we should go when you're having those questions about what do I do in this situation? Who has done something like this? Right? This is your community. These are the people that you want to talk to. This is where we talk about what we do in the classroom and how we teach and insights that we want to share. So please, if you are not in, let me know. I'll get you in there. And if you are in there, try to start making it happen. Tricia does a great job. Paul does a great job of posting pictures, of talking about the things that they're doing. Getting it happen, looking and sharing and commenting, seeing what's going on. Sure.
Just a little best practice tip, like the events section, I tried to post events of a speaker we had coming into Page, and I copied and pasted it, all the information in it, but I didn't actually program the right date. So when it posted the event, it said the event was like that very minute, and it was like a Friday. And so I got all these people like, is it today? What's going on?
So this is paying attention.
Yeah. So just a little thing, when you're in the events thing, you just gotta kind of watch all the details.
Yes. So how did the last, I know I wasn't here, I had to go get the kids going. How did the last, everybody feel comfortable playing with the Google Suite and how it all works together? These are all individual pieces as you experience. And I think that the next step is how do we bring them together? How do we make them work together, right? Because they don't stand alone, right? They can. But you're not getting the power out of it if we're just going to say, well, I'm going to ignore everything and I'm only going to use sheets, right? Because I think what we're trying to figure out is how is the suite useful to us, right? Any other last questions? Others?
Yeah, being a relatively new teacher and spending about 500 hours in the last 2 weeks on Blackboard, I'm trying to understand all of the linkages between Blackboard and Connect and Cengage and this. And it's becoming a little crazy just to figure out how to do it.
It is a little crazy. There are no connections between Blackboard and this, right? I mean, these are different things. All those publisher resources and how they connect into Blackboard is a little different show, and that's something that we can help you with in the Teaching Institute.
But Mike, I think that's an opportunity for you to go out in the community and say, hey, faculty, is anybody else having some questions about Connect or what have you? And if people are checking the community, they can point you in the right direction. If you put a question there about Blackboard, we've got a lot of very proficient Blackboard users in here. If the question goes up, it's part of the community's challenge to answer that question. We can even create screencasts and put those up there, and perhaps that question is what some other people have on their minds, and we can help a lot of people at the same time. So Blackboard and Google Plus, as Paul was mentioning, they don't work in conjunction, but they can be, we can use Google Plus as a communication device to help you out with Blackboard.
I just want to acknowledge right here, Judy has been playing and playing and playing. And that's what this is all about. The learning is in the playing. You just got to keep pressing buttons. Yeah, watch the time, but the time, AM, PM, but that's what this is. You got to keep playing with it. So hopefully in a few months, once you played a little bit, then we can start to merge some of these.
And you can delete stuff that you put up there on the community too.
Yes, you
so.
can.
And it really makes us think too about our students and their phones in the classroom and what they are doing and what they aren't doing. And I was saying to Paula, you know, we have our phones out, we're checking them, whatever we're doing with them, whether they are intentional for the meeting that we're at or they're not. You know, we can't really say. And I was saying that I was in church and someone next to me pulled their phone out. I was like aghast, and seriously, they pulled up the scripture passage. I'm like, it's a tool.
Yes.
Now, if I tried to do that, I'm sure that would go over well, but it was when I was in my doctoral program, and it was a small community, and I was seriously, I was like, yeah, if I was in church and tried to do that, I am sure that I could actually hear people gasp, right? But it was totally about what we were doing at the moment. So we never know what people are doing on their phones. So we could give them the benefit of the doubt if we want them to be collaborating on a document and actually working. We don't necessarily have to have the mobile, you know, laptop lab come into our classroom. It's a possibility that we could have them create a document on their phone and educate them on doing something in the classroom.
So Jerry Wozniak and I were collaborating about teaching Hume 205 in the next couple of upcoming terms. And what we decided was we were going to create circles for our classes. So when the students visit a piece of art to document it, they can photograph it and share it with everybody in the class. And with their
Or you can create a
comments
community for them, and
Yeah,
then they can just
exactly.
share it in one,
Right.
without the circle, yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah. And I think
so that's how we can get like their photos without having to worry about them translating through Blackboard.
Because when I think about it, I mean,
Right,
I've taken
absolutely.
pictures in my classroom too, and it's like, how do I share that in Blackboard? I have to
Right.
create basically a PowerPoint presentation
Mhm.
of my pictures for the students to say that, or I can put one picture on a banner, but, you know, I mean, they'd only see that when they log into the class. So by creating a community like that, it really is allowing that sharing to happen.
And remember, Blackboard is not about mobility or collaboration, right? That's not, and there's nothing wrong with it, but that's not what Blackboard is about, right? That's what Google is about. So if you want mobility and collaboration, go to Google Plus tool. If you want rubrics and grading and grade books and bells and whistles in that venue, then it's Blackboard. And then my metaphor, I've told a couple, there's some people working on Google Classroom, which you saw reference to. We don't have access to here, but some people are playing with it as an experiment. And I compare Google Blackboard is kind of a crappy car. I mean, it's like it's got cup holders and it's got all the automated windows and all that sort of stuff, right? The tape deck.
8-track tape.
And has a third row seat, I'm sure, right? Anyway, Blackboard is a car, which is kind of okay. Google Classroom was like a totally tricked out skateboard, right? You can't compare them. They aren't the same thing. They'll both get you somewhere, but they'll do it very differently. And those of you who play with Classroom, I think will see that, right? You can't compare it to Blackboard. Don't compare it to Blackboard.
It's not there yet.
It doesn't work that way. But they are their own things. And I think as we sort of look at mobility and accessibility and collaboration, more in that EBL vein of how we are choosing to teach, we'll see the benefits of both in different ways, right? So please tell the community, if you're not there, please come to Teaching Institute so we can talk more about this stuff. Thank you, Jenna, for putting this show together.
Yes, can I give a last speech, which is going to take probably 30 minutes? No, we wouldn't. First of all, I sincerely wanted to thank Paula, because she found out about me doing this job, and I also wanted to always, having this program as a Google Student Ambassador, do something for more, not only just, this is fun, of course, but with a meaning. So, and I hope this was with a meaning and you guys learned something.
Academic Council 623, 10 minutes. See you there.
Academic Council.
Academic Council.